Why has there been no new legislation? Why did this not have a bigger effect than it did?
I mean, I feel like there's kind of a few answers for that. One is I think people don't understand the connection. They don't understand how we're connected to all this enough to demand change. And I think that's the main problem. But I think a lot of also is just lobbyists and, the way Congress is right now. But I mean, I think if people, one of the reasons I decided to change the film and make it more about the connection to this gray web we're all tied into is because I wanted to be part of the conversation. I didn't want it just to be about victims. I also want it to be about how we're all part of this. And that's the first way to understand that is the first way to be part of the conversation about changing it.
It was fascinating. I was doing some reading, and I was just blown away by the fact that oil leases are the second biggest part of the revenue of our federal government after taxes. But not only that the way it's been set up, that basically when oil prices really go up, we don't really, as a nation, you could say part of it is bad because there's an incentive then for the government not to be more careful about oil development. Mm-hmm. But the other side is, okay, we get revenue. That's a good thing. But as oil prices shoot up, the tax revenue does not shoot up as much. Mm-hmm. And it's a long story as to why that is. But it's as you go down this rabbit hole, you see how incredibly complicated it all is.
It's so complicated.
I don't know. So what is there? Are there solutions? You always want to think you'll be able to walk out of a screening and do something, but I'm not sure other than decide to walk more, and maybe that's enough. I don't know.
I feel like there's a lot of things we can do. I think just the way Roosevelt is in this story and just the way his humanity is like just one kind of global thing to look at, because a lot of this is about greed, right? And this is not a film where I'm like, do this one action. I think there's about 1 million actions that we can do. There's a lot to be done around this. There's legislation for whistleblowers right now. There's dealing with, car emissions. There's a lot of action to take. And I think a reason I wanted to partner with Participant on this movie is they work with that and
with action steps.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that the first thing is to get off the moral high horse and say the oil companies are bad, mm-hmm. and just accepting the fact that they are bad on our behalf.
Right.
So that realization, so that the conversation can start. Because once you say they're bad and I'm good, there's no place to go. So that's
exactly.
a good place to start. I just wonder, have you changed the way you use energy at all?
I have a really old, broken down Volvo, and
if it's broken down, then you can't drive it. That's just very effective. Making the film, it's like, I think about it in a different way, and think about it. That's a start,
right?
Because I never think about it.
Right. No, I think, and I act differently around like how much I drive, and also. Promoting a movie, you're flying everywhere, and it's just you think about like just how to do things differently and how as a society we're going to do things differently. And of course, on a personal level, I do some things differently, but it's not, sure, like sometimes I get a plastic water bottle and but I don't think I'm like some perfect person if I haven't changed everything and I don't ride a bike everywhere in LA.
Yeah.
So.
You wouldn't live very long if you did.
Yeah.